Good morning, it's Barbara. It is not beautiful outside, but I'm going out anyway, while I still can. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I'm outside. It's a little cool, but it's not like, it doesn't go deep, so it's just cool on my skin. It's a little bit windy. But it's Sunday, just hanging out. This sweater, I don't remember the name of the sweater, but it has a crew neck. And I knit that crew neck out of the mohair that I striped in the front. That did not work out. So I do not recommend, it's fine. I haven't done anything to fix it. I was thinking of just knitting another crew thing inside to just tighten it up a little. I don't know, but I'm not fixing anything. I got a pile of sweaters that need fixing, and I haven't done it in years, so I'm not doing this. But it doesn't bug me when I wear it, so it's fine. I try to think of it like a boat neck. I can't. Valerie gave me this pattern, and I can't remember the name of it, and I never remember. Oh, I'll look it up. I'll look it up and put it down below. Today, I'll try to do that for you, be at least that kind. But otherwise, I really like the sweater. It's got like a reverse stockinette panel down the side. And beautiful yarn. Valerie gave me the yarn too. Anyway. Thank you. So, yesterday I did a few things around the house, which felt good. It made me think, I should do a few more things around the house because it feels good. I didn't read my book anymore, although I figured out I'm halfway through the first book. There are 10. When I stopped the day before yesterday. So I'll read a little bit today. Don't know how much. Watch a little on my phone because that's what I do. Maybe I'll knit a little bit if I come up with something I want to watch on television. And yeah. Tomorrow we're going to go to our kitchen designer and see what he has come up with. Of course, needless to say, I've been sitting here coming up with ideas of my own, so I don't know how this is going to work out, but we'll see. We will see. So I had a mind blow this morning. I don't want to say I'm such an idiot, but that's sort of the kind of mind blow it is. Duh. I was this age, this year's old, when I found out. So Dennis showed me a video on his phone, and he loves to show me these animal things, whatever. So it's a little rodent digging in dirt. And then the rodent realizes, and it's a little rodent, about that. My guess is about that big. It's hard to know because there wasn't anything giving scale, but I'm thinking it's about that big. The rodent realizes that there's somebody there taking a video of it. It turns around and it makes itself really big. I don't know if you've ever seen a red panda try to intimidate anybody. It's the cutest thing you'll ever see in the world, and I highly recommend you Google that on YouTube and find them. They just make themselves big and they try to look fierce, but of course red pandas are like the cutest thing ever in the world, right? So this is a rodent this big, turns around and it goes like this, like it's making itself really big, and the whole underside of this rodent is black, which I feel like is like intimidating, right? And it's trying to be intimidating, and it's this tall, and it's absolutely adorable. Turns out it's a hamster. It's a kind of hamster out in the wild. And I'm like, oh my God. It never occurred to me. Oh, we got some breeze going on. That there were hamsters in the wild. Well, of course there's got to be hamsters in the wild. We don't have any kind of pet animal that wasn't at one point in its, path a wild animal. It never occurred to me that there were wild hamsters. I've only ever seen, of course, a hamster in a cage. I had one. We all had one when we were kids, or else there was one in our classroom and they were all named Hammy, right? Am I right? Blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God. Somewhere in the world there are wild hamsters. Turns out that place in the world is the hamsters that we have as domestic pets in the United States come from southern Syria, apparently. And there are like 11 kinds of hamsters or something, and they're all from around, the old world. There are no indigenous American hamsters, even though, anyway. And I can't believe I'm 71 years old and it never occurred to me that there were wild hamsters. It never crossed my mind. I mean, that blew my mind. Did you know there were wild hamsters? So I'm like, are there wild house cats out in the wild now? Somewhere where, Dennis says no, they were domesticated. But he did find a cat, an African cat, that looks exactly like a house cat. The nose is a little bit bigger, like pointier, tiny bit pointier. But, if you saw it over there 20 feet away, you'd say it was a house cat. It's some kind of wild cat in Africa. Dogs are domesticated. There are no wild dogs that are actually the same species as our wild dogs are. There are wild dogs in Africa too, but they are a different species. Our wild dogs descended from wolves and were domesticated. Blew my mind. And I can't believe, anyway, it would just never occurred to me that you could see it. But we have chipmunks that are tiny little things, but it never, you'd think. But whatever, blew my mind. So there you go. Now you know there are wild hamsters. I wonder if they're all named Hammy. All right. So anyway, the other thing, I went to the store. Well, I went to the store yesterday, but the time I went to the store before, when I was coming home from on Friday dropping off Maisie, I went to a different store, and when I get to the checkout line, the whole belt is empty, and there's a woman standing there by the cashier, but the whole belt was empty. So I start putting my stuff up on the belt. That rolls it. I don't know if everybody has the same kind of grocery store, but it, moves it toward the cashier, and those things move automatically unless something comes up to block their little sensor or the cashier turns off the belt. So my stuff goes straight up to the front, right next to where this lady's standing, and I didn't realize, but she was an older lady, older than me, and kind of shaky. And she was slowly picking up everything out of her cart and handing it to the cashier. And I didn't realize that. I thought she was done because there was nothing on the belt. So she's moving very slow, handing him her stuff. And my stuff is now in the way because this kid didn't know how to just turn off the belt, apparently. Anyway, it wasn't that big of a deal and it was fine. But she took some time because she needed some time as she was clearing out her cart, and she had brought a bag and they were filling the bag, and she was putting more things in the bag. She only had one, and I don't know what they were going to do with the rest of the stuff. Anyway, took a little while, and then the young man tells her, that was 1835. or 1855, let's say, something like 1855. And so very slowly she takes a $20 bill out of her wallet, and he goes, puts it in the thing and says, you know, your change is $1.45. And I don't know, I guess he turns to, you know, like help pack something before he goes into his drawer, and she's very slowly, she doesn't say a word, very slowly she's taking the change, the 65 cents, and puts it down onto the counter, because he hasn't gotten the money out yet, right? He just looks at her and he says, I'm giving you $1.45. And he takes $1.45 out of his till and hands it to her. And so she picks up her 55 cents that she's just put down, and she puts it back in her wallet. And I'm there. That kid had no idea how to go from the machine told him to give her $1.45, then to say, oh, she's giving me the 55 cents, so I should just give her $2. That kid had no idea how to do that. It never occurred to him that he could do that, I don't think, and I don't think he would have had any idea how to do that. I'm like, oh my God, his machine said give her $1.45. Well, at least it wasn't one of those machines that spits out the coin and you just pick them up and hand them to him. He actually had to figure out in coins 45 cents. Which I guess is halfway there, right? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to say something to her, you know, by the time I got through and out, I didn't see her in the parking lot. I would have said something to her like, kids these days. He had no idea what to do with that. He couldn't conceptualize what to do with that change, and he ignored it. She picked it back up and put it back in her purse. Yeah, kids these days. We are not, our education system in the United States has really deteriorated, I'm afraid. And our parenting. And our parenting, probably. I saw a very interesting video. It's a guy who shows up, you know, because I'm watching these shorts. I watch them through Instagram, which is very bad for me because I end up buying stuff on Instagram ads, which I shouldn't be doing, or I get through them through YouTube. But there's a guy who, I don't know who he is, he shows up, but he's talking about, I don't know, this one video I thought was really interesting. And he was saying that when he and his family go out to dinner, every time they do that, one of their children, and they alternate, one of their children is responsible for ordering the meal for the entire family. So the family sits around and tells them what they want and all the specifics of what they want. But he's the one, only one person interacts with the waiter. And he's going on talking about all the different skills that this is training that one child to do just through the course of ordering their meal. And it was really interesting to me, and I thought that's a great idea, because number one, he has to memorize what everybody said and what they want, and and then the waiter comes up, my name is Bob, and then the kid says, hi Bob, my name is so and so, and so they have to interact with a stranger, and that's politely in that situation. And then they say, I would like such and so and such and so, and my brother would like such and so and such and so, and my sister would like such and so and so, and so they, it's a way for them to learn these little life skills in just that 5-minute encounter in the opening, salvo of a dinner in a sit-down restaurant. And I just thought it was genius. Instead of every kid's there on their phone, and the mom asks, what do you want, and tells the server, and they alternate, as the different times they go out. And so it helps kids learn how to speak in public, how to interact with a stranger, politely, how to, all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was like a little bit genius where, in the old days, kids, sort of were part of the interaction. When I was a kid, we all ate dinner together. We all sat and talked. There were certain rules. We weren't allowed to sing at the table. I think that was a rule for my mother. She was the singer. But we just had conversations between adults and children, regularly. And that doesn't happen anymore. Everybody's on their device now while they eat. I mean, even Dennis and I, we sit in the living room most of the time. I mean, when we had our trout almondine, we sat at the table, but that was the first time the two of us have sat at the table to eat in a really long time. Dennis eats at the table periodically, like when he has wings and stuff, and he just, but I just thought that, just take the opportunity, these little things to help children, and we're talking about a 10-year-old, we're not talking about babies or anything, but anyway, I just thought it was really kind of genius to incorporate all kinds of life lessons in everyday situations, to help your, I also end up following this woman, and I'm on Instagram, so I'm hitting follow if I like their videos, and there's this woman, Snarky. She calls herself Snarky. I forget what her Instagram thing is, but she's just reading letters. It's sort of a Dear Abby kind of thing, people telling their wild stories, and then asking for advice, and then the people comment and ask for advice. Although when I'm in, I can't figure out how to see the comments in those reels, which is interesting to me. I haven't figured out Instagram. But anyway, one of what was a lady that says, oh my God, I can't, my husband wants to go to his mother's for Christmas dinner, and my kids have such terrible table manners. I'm embarrassed to go because they're so terrible, and they're like, tweens, like, 11 and 13 or 9 and who knows, but like, and, and I'm thinking, Christmas is in 2 months, and this is exactly what she said. Christmas is in 2 months. It's your job to train your children in table manners, and you need to do it in the next 2 months, and they can learn, and you can do it. It's like, what do they think? Do people really think kids learn table manners like it's genetic, and when they turn, 19, they all of a sudden have table manners? And we're not talking about, as she says, we're not talking about the shrimp fork. We're talking about how to behave at a table and use a napkin. And, she's like 2 months, she's got 2 months, and she's like, what am I going to do? Teach your kids table manners. Anyway. So this is what I'm watching on TV, on my phone. And anyway, so that's what's going on with me. The checkout guy, the hamster in the wild. Oh my God, it blew my mind. Blew my mind. So I have no idea what I'm going to do today. Probably nothing much accomplished. Although I did, I did dishes yesterday. I went grocery shopping yesterday, Oh, I do have to peel lemons today. I bought lemons yesterday when I went grocery shopping. So, yeah. Oh, actually, I got them on Friday. So I will be doing that. But, yeah. Anyway, this is me today. But I'm taking it easy. Really. I gotta go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.